So you've implemented your implemented, some set of areas. You got some stewards training, and now they're just sort of cranking along now, hopefully well, or continuing to grow. And now you need to support and manage that. So that's where this next sort of role comes. And one is sort of monitoring requests and activity. So making sure that you're giving timely responses for requests for what, whatever it might be, and kind of taking a customer service perspective. So the way to think about this is like if you were to implement a tech support system or a ticketing system for IT or something, you want to be monitoring that to make sure nothing's sort of stuck in there. So doing this will build a broader buy-in. If you're getting timely responses, if you're getting untimely responses, you're going to start losing buy-in from all sides, from both your consumers and requesters and the stewards, because no one likes to be doing a bad job. So helping the stewards who are stuck and unsure what to do. So, kind of ongoing mentoring and support, and also giving them a way to ask for help and making sure that they have sufficient time to do the work that they need to do. And then, of course, you can always sort of step in and move things along. Taking the perspective of the project and the content needs to take priority, and if you can, sort of push something along, and then then come back and help that steward if necessary. But sometimes you have to do that just to get it done, or as I mentioned before, enlist new subject matter expert collaborators. The other role that you can play is to resolve collisions. So you got this little train wreck here, but what I think is important for people to understand is that if you are having an issue where you've got a disagreement among data stewards or offices or groups within your organization about glossary definitions or policy attributes or a quality rule or who owns it or whatever, that this is actually the process working. This is a good thing, and you should celebrate it, because this stuff was happening before. It was just it was just, there was no transparency. It was unspoken. Right. So now when we find this, you have a way to resolve this, or to clarify the issues. We do a whole session. It's called Snack Size Data Governance number 5, Managing the Collisions of Definitions. One of the big things we talk about there is allowing different definitions or different opinions to exist under different contexts, as long as you are able to document the context. But it is the role of, one role that you can play here is to facilitate that, and to push people towards, towards the right path, which may include actually saying, no, we're going to do this definition instead of that one. But the other one is just to be the champion, to promote, it's not unusual for people to lose momentum. Like there might be an exercise to kind of create some content to get some stuff going, but everyone kind of goes back to other things as a priority, and they lose momentum. So keeping kind of the importance of this in the front, doing lunch and learns or webinars and outreach within your groups, or continuing to train the trainers for new stewards or other people, and even measure and report on success and the high-level goals so people can see how it's going, both up to your leadership and to the people doing the work. Create some metrics and goals and rewards. So some people say like, hey, the first department to get 100 glossary definitions in, or whatever you might do, whatever works for your organization. Having some sort of data governance web pages to explain why we're doing this and point people in the right direction. So just things that you would do on any project if you're trying to promote it and make sure that the people who you're asking to participate and help both understand why and see the value of it, but also feel rewarded for the work that they've done. Right. The other thing is to note that there are administrative tasks that you have to do with this. So depending on your availability and your time, you may want to recruit or bring in some people to help with the administrative parts of this, so that anything where you're doing training and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have scheduling, you'll have agendas you have to write, and creating and sharing meeting notes. So that's an important thing to do. It's also probably good to have regular or whatever frequency it makes sense, depending on how many stewards you have, but sort of one-on-ones and reviews with stewards, particularly who are new. And then there's also sort of if you have a data governance or catalog tool like the data cookbook, there's sort of actual tool administration, for user management or technical support and configuration. Some tools are easier than others for doing that. I think that you'll see when we talk about this on Wednesday that our tool is designed to be relatively simple to administer compared to some other tools. But that's also something that you may not be directly overseeing. You might have someone from IT or whatever, or maybe you are, but you ultimately have some ownership over